Shout out to Phenom Black, Miss Music Lover, Twan Burgundy, Silent Ace Media, man. Mindset of a young nigga with idle time. They say a devil's workshop is an idle mind. This hip-hop infiltrated by a wicked built industry. I'm here representing for the underground. Independence, Fifth Amendment, freedom of speech, the revolution is pending. But it's cool cause you see we on a mission. Television off, this a viral petition. Man, and I hope you pay attention. The WM48, we keep it real.
What's good, everybody? You are listening to the Where's My 40 Acres podcast, and this is Spoiler Cap, Luke Cage, Season 2, Episode 9, For Pete's Sake, directed by Clark Johnson. And at this point, they are at some new facility that Ran Enterprises is currently building. It's still under construction, but they're going to use it as a safe house because that's the best that Danny could do for them.
This big old place.
It is a big-ass place. And this is one of those important episodes in the season where it's more about the conversations. This is where all of the story pretty much comes together. And every episode after this, before we get to the last two episodes of the season, actually just build upon a lot of the stuff that we learned in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go and start because this is a rough family affair episode right here. Luke Cage takes him to Rand Enterprise facility. Mariah made fun of Jesus, and then she ended up joining that damn prayer circle though, because it's hot in the streets right now, and she need all of the blessings she can get. Blessings
but
on
Misty
blessings.
didn't want to touch her hand, boy.
Blessings on blessings, etc. Let's see. The bounty gets upped to $3 million for Mariah Stokes and her pickney. So it is really real in Harlem right now. I think anybody that looks like they might deal in herbs is getting shot in the streets right now or kidnapped. $3 million bounty, all y'all not safe. Let's see. Luke Cage convinces Misty Knight to make a deal with Mariah, and she refuses. She's like, I don't want to do that shit. I'm tired of letting her off on technicalities and bullshit. But the thing with Luke Cage is he's completely given up on his system anyway. So he's like, fuck it. If we can get Bushmaster off of her making a deal, then get her on some bullshit later because you know she's going to go right back to a life of crime. And even if we do get her on some shit, she going to get off because y'all system is fucked. Which kind of contradicts why he would want them to make a deal with Mariah to catch Bushmaster. Maybe he only believes that Mariah is the one that could get off from being caught by the police. Maybe he believes that Bushmaster is truly just a street nigga. And if he got charged with some shit, he would actually go to prison.
Oh no. Like he really does not like Bushmaster at all. I think he thinks they're pretty much two peas in a pod, him and Mariah.
He tells Mariah he tells Bushmaster at one point, I hope y'all kill each other. So I can get some sleep. I remember that. I hope y'all kill each other so I can get some sleep.
Yeah, he did say
why don't y'all just hurry up and kill each other so I can get some rest? He absolutely does not like them. And everybody gets their little side conversations. I think it starts off, Luke Cage and Misty are talking. This is where they come up with the idea to get Mariah to give them enough information to become a snitch. The shit she claims she hates.
Everybody hates being a snitch unless they the one.
Unless they need to be a snitch. Right. Because she snitched the fuck to get Bushmaster caught up with the whole gun charge.
It's very convenient when you're the one talking.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But she ends up talking to, so Tilda talks to Cage, and Cage also talks to Misty. Mariah talks to his daddy. What's his daddy's name?
Yeah, what is his daddy's name?
DJ, I thought you knew his daddy's name.
I've been calling that nigga by his real life name the whole season.
Oh yeah, Reg.
Yeah,
Reggie
go ahead, Reggie, Kathy. Go ahead. But tell Luke.
I thought Deidre knew his name. You sent it to me in a text.
Well, no, I sent you that he passed away.
But you called him by his show name.
Oh no, I called him Freddie. And see, Freddie was that was his character at House of Cards.
Hold up, I'm gonna look it up.
I'm pretty
Lucas
sure
is the
you
name.
called him by
James.
his.
Yeah, James.
Yeah, you
James.
called him James Lucas because I looked at it. I was like, who the fuck is James Lucas? And I was like,
I did. I thought I called him that.
you absolutely called him James Lucas because it took.
Oh.
That's why I remember that Luke Cage's last name was Lucas. I was like, what? Who the fuck is James Lucas? But yeah, so she she talks to James. But the whole reason that Black Mariah is even talking to James, which they have an interesting conversation, I think she actually took something from it. But the whole reason she was talking to him is so that she could get this nigga to stop paying attention
and get that phone.
get his phone and make a call to Shades, who's not picking up his phone because he's sitting at Gwen's diner, scoping out the diner and following Anansi for the perfect moment to kidnap him. I mean, that was obvious that was about to happen. So, the big thing with this episode, though, is the betrayal of Nandi, which we should have seen coming because she's a fucking friend of me. And
yes.
The whole way she got that information was Misty goes back to the precinct. I don't know why she went back to Harlem.
She went back to the precinct just to get the deal.
I get it, but I understand. Look, they could have brought that deal to her. But anyway, they could have met in another borough, okay? They could have not met in the borough when Black Mariah was hiding at to foster this deal. Got her to sign it and then took it back to the precinct. But whatever.
We need to talk about how no, we'll talk about that later. Because she got caught in a dumb way.
She did. But again, well, she didn't know. That's why she got caught. She's also stupid.
She's very stupid.
I don't know what she was doing, honestly. I don't know what we'll talk about that when we figure out what happened.
I don't even think she didn't think it out clearly.
Shit. Unbeknownst to Misty and the new captain, whoever they brought in from the division, from IA or whatever, to run the precinct for now, while they're having a conversation, and mind you, Misty never says exactly where they are in Queens.
No.
But somehow, Nandi figures out it must be Rand Enterprises. Because that's all she tells him is they in Queens. But she's listening on the other side of the window in the interrogation room.
Mm-hmm.
So she runs to get that $3 million from Bushmaster.
What a dumbass.
Yeah. She brave as, I'm sorry, but I don't trust none of that shit. If I'm a cop and I walk up into a spot with a bunch of fucking murderous, head decapitating gangsters with some information that they need, and I just flat out tell them before they done wired the money, I expect them to kill me after that.
I mean, I'd be scared of just a regular ass motherfucker going in there.
I mean, she just walked up in there, bust the door open, and just strolled on in there all, confident and shit. I was like, fuck that.
You already know the criminals. Then you can go in there and be like, oh, okay, so where my $3 million? Oh, did we have
with your badge on and everything?
And then she walked out the back like she was hiding.
I'd be like, nope, you didn't. You right.
She just walked out when they found out later how she did it. She just walked out the back of the facility like nobody will see me if I leave through the alley.
Yeah, right. I don't know why, and then I don't know why she thought she had a complete clean paper trail to find her ass too.
She didn't think. That's the thing. She did not think.
Yeah, we forgot to talk about the conversation that Luke had with his father while Mariah's place was burning down was basically where they kind of consoled and got over their differences, and his dad apologized for fucking up the last time that Luke actually spoke to his mother when she was alive and all of that stuff. And that kind of carries over into this episode because his dad said one of the things that I thought was like most prominent and self-explanatory for this season. And it starts off sounding like some Spider-Man shit. With great power comes great pain. I'm like, thank God. I thought he was about to hit him with that responsibility shit. But he says your strength is from God. But with that type of power comes pain. I'm like, damn, it's about to get real.
Mm-hmm.
He also says to him, and again, I feel like this is also like prominent. He says to Luke, science, magic, God, the power flows from within, from inside. And this is like later used to actually explain Bushmaster's power with the aid of the Nightshade. It's more of an enhancer for him than actually his source of power. So
Nightshade no heal, Nightshade reveal.
Right.
Let's see. Tilda wants access to Bushmaster's blood work. She's talking to Luke Cage. She's kind of like, you're different from him. Like, you don't have to heal or anything, but the way that he can deal with Nightshade just doesn't make any sense because it's pretty much a poison when you're taking it the way he is. He should be dying. She's like, if I had access to his blood work, I could figure out how the Nightshade is actually enhancing him while he's able to live. And all I saw was foreshadowing for season 3. Like, that's all I saw. It's like she just needs to sample
she was
his
saying,
blood.
because in that also when the little cousin or whatever gave the whole story about, you know, the vaccination that they gave when they were younger.
That's later.
When
That's
they was
later.
kids.
No, that's later. We're still at
Yeah,
Danny Rand
that's
Enterprises. That's
Oh,
the next
I think that
episode.
was the next episode.
Yep, we're still at Danny Rand Enterprises. What this whole episode is the mix is the conversational episode in one location. They don't move locations
when
in this
they
episode.
revealed everything. Okay.
Mhm. This whole episode is at Danny Rand Enterprises. Bushmaster's henchman is seen when they're at the club this is when 90 walks in. When they're at the club trying to figure out where the fuck Mariah is and where she disappeared to and how to get Nightshade and why it's not growing the way they want it, it's because they don't have Jamaican soil. One of his henchmen is playing with a bomb and his boy Shelton goes over and snatches and says, "Don't play with the weapons." So that's foreshadowing because that is the bomb that Bushmaster uses later on when he gets put into the paddy wagon to blow it open. After he tells that story to the two scared ass white officers who had to escort him back to the poor white men. Although
they were looking like, oh shit.
Although the report on TV did say that they lived, they were just badly injured, but they survived. So they be all right. Let's see. Mariah flips to the past to get the phone. The Stokes curse. So this is really what this episode is about. This is where we get what we know now what Rittenhauer knew. So the whole story is part of it was true, but there was some parts left out, and it's really fucked up. So
It really is. Because I thought it was like, I thought it was just gonna be like, you know, Captain Rittenhour was a daddy.
that's what I thought.
That's what I thought. And then after I watched it, I was like, I really wish that was the outcome.
Does she even know who her real daddy is?
I
Does she
think
even know her real age?
the story, you know, of what happened was one thing, but Mariah's,
the way
feelings
she
towards her
told
daughter and how she was talking to her was absolutely disgusting.
I wrote down in my notes, that's when she transformed into Black Mariah. That you saw it go from this woman who was talking and the pain and all that stuff was real, and then that shift to that coldness, and it was done so well by Alfred Woodard that you felt it, like you felt everything that her daughter felt when she was giving that story, and you were like I just wrote, I said Mariah fucked up.
Well, this is her Emmy episode. If there's an episode that they're gonna nominate Alfred Woodard for an Emmy, it'll be this one. And so the story is that let me clear my throat because it's about to be some fuck shit. So, oh my God, Mariah was Uncle Pete has been like a big prominent background figure, and we learned last season, I believe, that Cornell killed Uncle Pete. And that hit was actually put out by Black Mariah's mother.
Well, I thought it was put out. Yeah, it was put out by Mama Mabel.
It was put out by Mama Mabel because her ghost comes back and talks about that in the next episode. But she put that hit out on Pete through Cornell. And the reason they put that hit out on Pete was probably a few things. I would assume one of the biggest, though, would be the fact that he had been raping Mariah for years.
Nigga.
And Tilda is 100% Stokes because
100%.
she is a rape baby. She is a product of Uncle Pete and Mariah's in that rape situation. And at the time, Jackson Dillard actually was gay. Well, he was gay.
Yes.
And Alfred Woodard was actually playing to be in a relationship and to being married to him because his family, I forgot where he was from, I don't know if he was Creole.
He
I
was
think
from
New Orleans
Was
or
he- yeah,
something.
he was
I
Creole,
think
from
right?
New
was
Orleans.
Creole.
He was a
Yeah.
prominent. His family was prominent because he was a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Because she said everything I told you about your dad was true, but and she said I loved him, but he didn't love me the same way.
'Cause
Like they
he
had
was
love for
gay.
each other, but so like he was gay, and then when I came down, the family was so happy that he wasn't gay. They didn't even care that I already had a kid.
They didn't care that she had a kid, and there was also some mention of her skin color. Might
Yeah,
have been a
she was
problem as
dark, and
well.
I think they were a little bit lighter.
Her name came from the fact that kids used to tease her when she was young, used to call her Black Mariah because she was so brown skinned. Although the girl they used to play her in the flashback was not an ugly young child at all. I was like,
No.
I don't know why they was making fun of
They'll
her.
always be seeing that. These little girls be like, I got joked because of my skin color. I'd be like, but baby, you're beautiful. Like,
She's a model in the making, that little beautiful child. What is they teasing you about? Besides, unless
You'd
they
be
just like,
surprised though.
I know.
Them kids.
fuck niggas exist. But yeah,
Mhm.
so Uncle Pete, it was one of the only ones that had told her she was pretty, and that's how it starts. And he ended up, raping her, and they had the baby Tilda, and
Mama
took
Mabel
the
wouldn't let
baby.
her have an abortion.
Right, because you don't kill no Stokes. That's family.
Yeah.
Because that's a weird way. But they took the child, and they sent the child to May Johnson, who raised the kid. Uncle Pete got dealt with. Dilla died. Jackson Dilla died, so the secret went there. I guess Rittenhouse was one of the only ones that she was confessing all of this to when they were younger and were dating.
Now you got to think about it. Rittenhouse already said he dated her through high school.
He was still in love with her like Shades.
So there was a good chance that either they were close or together when all this shit was going down.
They were, because Jackson Dilla was 8 years older than her, and this was her first year at Howard, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
So she was fresh out of school.
So he was there when all that shit happened.
Yeah. Again, like Shades, Rittenhouse was still in love with her. Like
Still.
don't
in love.
overlook this fact that when dudes get with Mariah, they are locked in for life.
Black Mariah had that coochie.
I really don't want to use that statement in this situation.
Black Mariah had the full pink. Red.
Everything was May this, May that. And I was
May.
like, y'all old foggies.
And the way he said it too, he was like, May.
And this
I
is
still
a married
love,
man.
yeah.
This is a married man calling her May like 30, 40 years later.
Uh-huh.
Still missing her. Ooh, I'm missing you.
Ready to put his,
That's right.
career
He's
on the line.
He's ready to knock that wig sideways, boy.
So, yeah, and at the end of all of this fucked up story where Tilda is learning the truth about her and how she was ashamed to Mariah. Mariah then goes, I never loved you. I could never love you. And then all hell breaks loose.
Nigga. I mean, and
But every time she sees her, she thinks of Pete.
And it's sad, but that shit is so true. I feel like you're gonna see people writing about this, like, because those rape victims that have to keep the child, end up keeping the child, can't get abortions. Like, there's always that part of them that kind of sees that. It's a constant reminder.
Yep.
Of what happened, and logically it's not the child's fault, but emotionally it's still hard.
Right.
And I don't know, the women who deal with that and go through it and raise these kids, man, more power to y'all. I don't know how y'all do that.
Bruh, there's a whole SVU episode dedicated to this.
Yeah,
I remember that shit where the Asian woman was raped by the black dude, and her son she thought was evil, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah, and now now that I look back on it as we go over it, because I initially was like, well, damn, she's fucked up, and and she's really turned to Black Mariah. I gotta change that, because that emotion she was saying about her is just a real emotion.
Yeah,
I think she, I don't even think she was trying to be cruel. It's like, I'm just gonna tell you the full truth, and doesn't mean I didn't care for you. Doesn't mean like I didn't want to see the best, but I think she basically said that love that you want from a mother, I can't give to you.
Well, that's not true, because later on that changes. In that moment, I believe she was dealing with the emotions of telling this really, really heavy story, right? And Tilda was because she's got nothing but judgment from Tilda since Tilda returned, right? Their relationship is fractured. So it's understandable. But in this time period, Mariah has lost everything and somebody's trying to kill her. She's at the height of breaking point and she is out to hurt people. And she absolutely was trying to hurt Tilda when telling her this story. It wasn't just about telling you the truth. It was about, fine, you want to judge me? Here's the real story. And this is why you're my shame.
I don't know if I think she knew it was gonna hurt, but it wasn't like malice behind it. I feel like it was just like,
yes, it absolutely was.
I've held all this, like, because part of me felt like she was like, I held all this shit, like, you're judging me for this shit and all this shit, the shit I gotta carry for you, the shit I carry so you don't have to experience, like, you know, like that cross I gotta bear so you don't have to experience. So now you want the whole truth because you keep saying you want the truth and that's what you want, so you're gonna get the truth and it's here.
And it's the way she ended it, she didn't have to end it that way.
The truth is gonna fuck you up.
She didn't have to end it that way.
And I ain't gonna sugarcoat that shit.
But she didn't have to end it that way. She didn't have to end it with that, and I never loved you, I can never love you. That she didn't have to end it that way. And she changes that later on. Like, she didn't have to say that shit. She actually contradicts when she says that shit later, because she kills a guy that's about to kill Tilda.
And then you got to think about, too, the fact of, you know, they had a strained relationship, and the only reason why Mariah was really kind of clinging on to the girl was not for the right reason.
It was for show.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, which again makes me feel like those conflicting, like the emotions are conflicting, but there's still that part in there is because of that shit that happened to me. There's a part of me that does want to reach out with you because you're my daughter, but there's another part of me that just can't. And that's why our relationship is strained. That's
completely
why
understandable.
We have this shit.
I completely get that, but it's a way you can do things to break people, and that's what she was absolutely trying to break her daughter. Like that whole "I'm just being real." It was malice in that shit.
Yeah,
at the very end, it just was. When she was telling the story, it might have been. I don't feel like it was, but when she got to the end, them last couple statements, that shit was malice.
Like she was already discussing with us. So said, let me add this extra, you know, turn inside the wound. Yeah, I agree. I totally feel Mariah on, you know, her whole situation and what happened to her. And, you know, just like everybody said, those are real feelings. But I really feel like if, regardless, this is still your child, and the things that you said towards the end, I feel like that was out of spite. Like that was nothing but like hatred.
I don't think there was a way that she could have told Tilda, because Tilda is an emotional character. I don't think that especially if she's one with the earth and doing herbs and shit, she's definitely like fully in tune with her emotions and her spiritual feeling and all of that stuff. She embraces that. So I don't think there's any way that you could have told her this story without it not being like sticking a knife in. That's just a hard story to tell. Mariah didn't have to twist it though. And like, that's just how it went. But it doesn't matter because everything goes to shit when Bushmaster and the crew shows up like 7 limos deep.
Nigga.
And comes out the trunk with a fucking rocket launcher.
I was like, they got damn Navy and all these top secret. I said, where the fuck this come from?
I don't know.
Missiles and shit. I was like, wow.
They've been spending the shit out of her money on arms dealers. They found the Lord of War, and they brought that shit to Danny Rand Enterprises, and they just started blowing shit up. But I think one of my favorite moments in this film, because we never see. I don't want to say we never see. This is the first time we get to see full Black Mariah, and when she gets that fucking gun,
yeah,
and it's just walking up them hallways shooting niggas.
Oh my! Like she was not playing.
I was like, we need like 3 episodes of Mariah with a gun.
She was not scared, and she was hitting targets too.
Yes,
she wasn't missing shit.
That shit was good to watch, and she like protected. It was like, yes, Luke Cage is here, Misty is here, but she didn't need their protection, and she wasn't even getting their protection. They was all fighting people other places. Her and Tilda basically left on their own and got through the building by themselves. And was sending each other signals and everything. Head nods, go this way. But she was protecting her and her daughter, despite what she had just said. She still was protecting both of them. So, yeah, Alfred Wood is going to get noticed for this episode. It's a bomb-ass episode. The immunity of the gun sales is basically what they conjured the deal on. So that's how they got Bushmaster in, because Bushmaster and Luke Cage have the only actual fair fight they've had this whole season. And in that fight, Bushmaster is still weak. I don't want to. It's not matched. It's unmatched, but it's fair. Bushmaster is weak, has not been able to find any Nightshade, and ultimately he gets his ass whooped.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets arrested. They throw him in the back of the paddy wagon. Black Mariah is free on her deal. Her and Luke Cage decide to part ways. He's no longer for hire for them. Tilda is basically like, fuck my mother. She, despite the fact that she blew away a couple of niggas for me, she evil as shit.
Yeah, she saw her in a different light after that conversation.
Yeah. James Lucas basically tells Carl Lucas, Luke Cage, hey, look, listen, nigga. I'm going to Georgia because Harlem is ridiculous. I'm going to preach with Mace. I'll holler at you. I'm out. He says, don't make your calling a curse. But you know, once his daddy leave, he ain't gonna be grounded no more. That's pretty much what happens. And Bushmaster escapes the paddy wagon. And Shelton and them pick him up. Tilda tries to go back to her shop. And she sees that it's been fucking destroyed after that shootout. And
Destroyed.
Somehow she walks right into the shop and completely misses the nigga dying in the seat over in the corner with shrapnel in him. And Shelton basically tells her, hey, if he dies, you die. So you need to save Bushmaster again.
And she said we need to find some place that's quiet.
I don't know why none of the cops was looking for Mariah, but they just let her leave, and she's walking through Queens with a shotgun with a grenade launcher attached to it, looking for people to kill. Shades just magically finds her because he got Black Mire sonar or some shit, sonar or whatever. He finds her, picks her up. They basically back together again, even though they only been separated for like a day.
They are some dramatic. That's a dramatic ass couple.
He says, I have a present for you, and we should all know what the present is. Yeah. It's a Nazi tied up in the trunk.
A Nazi.
So now they can draw Bushmaster out. What are they going to do?
Now you see real Black Mariah.
Are they going to kill his uncle? What's going to happen? Find out next week. No, that's it, y'all, basically. So this has been episode 9, for Pete's sake, of Luke Cage season 2. And thank you for listening. Appreciate everybody who tunes into the podcast. If you're on YouTube, you know what the deal is. Hit the subscribe button. Let us know how you feel about this episode. What was your favorite part? Do you think Alfred Woodard should get an Emmy this season for this shit? If you're listening on the podcast network, you know how to reach out to us, podcast@wisma40acres.com. Tell a friend, tell a foe how they can listen and subscribe. Podomatic, Podcatcher, iTunes, all of that great stuff that you can listen to us talk on. We'll holler at y'all next time with episode 10, The Main Ingredient. All right, y'all. We're out. Peace.